Hey, welcome back. I am so excited. This just in from Canada at, whoa, where did my knife go here? It's not in my pocket. Seguin Inc. I have been talking to, I think it's Andrew Seguin, about making this this pen. Let me just make sure nothing private in there. Boink. Thank you for your early support and advice in the development of this pen. I hope you enjoy it as much as I do. Andrew Seguin. Awesome. Just little stuff about what I like about, I like the box on this, what I like about the Smooth Precision pens. But there have not been enough pens that have the integrated, wow, really nice, integrated clip bolt. And so I was pretty enthusiastic to join in on Andrew's journey making this pen. And yeah, he really knocked it out of the park. Wild pen, really interesting design. Let's take a look inside really quickly and just see if we can learn a little bit about it. But obviously longer term, if you watch this channel, you know I'm a huge fan of this design. Looks like that'd be a pretty easy, it's a very basic spring, so you could swap that out. We got a Parker in here. This is just so reminiscent, it's wild. So reminiscent of the early Smooth Precision pens. So this opens from the top. You could make that about a third shorter and then bolt the clip in from the top like they do on Smooth Precision pens instead of screwing it in from the side. I mean, that would be quite, and I keep a rubber mat down here, by the way, so no big deal when that drops onto the floor on purpose with all the stuff I do reviews on. This is a really remarkable pen, and you could get this shorter. So let me get you some size comparisons. Sorry, I'm all over the place here, but just excited because we haven't had, there's only been one pen that's come out with a clip bolt in the last year, and it is the Arnaud Bernard Assegai. And it's good, but it's very different than Smooth Precision pens and what they put together. You can just see quickly the size alone. It's a Parker. This is a full-size Smooth Precision pens with a GT refill. This is a Parker, and it's like almost a 1/4 inch longer than the Smooth Precision pens. And getting this right and efficient is super important in making a good result. So this is the first version. I don't know if I want to call it a prototype or if it's a production version. It has production level quality, I'll say. And yeah, really impressed. Zero tip wiggle there. Let me do a quick test here. Nice. Wow, that is rock solid, 10 out of 10 on the no tip wiggle front. Which with that refill means that I can throw some of my favorite refills in here, which is super appreciated and welcome. Let me pull one out really quickly. And yeah, sorry, again, just really excited to finally have one of these in hands. What is it most like? It is most like the Smooth Precision pens version 1 and version 2, the Tie Scribe V1, V2. The pocket clip is almost verbatim. He's going to probably want to give a little more distance there. Right now it doesn't seem to be rubbing, but people grab this here and instead of up here at the top, and once in a while that will scratch along here. So he's going to probably want to get a little more distance between the pocket clip. You can see here on the Smooth Precision pens there's a little more distance there than there is on the Seguin. It's interesting. The top up here is a bit thinner. I'd say it's like a 0.35 inch. This is 0.37. And then the bottom's probably about a 0.4. I'll have to go double check on the website. But you've got this nice thick bottom that reminds me of like the USG or even maybe a little bigger. Beautiful machining here on the grip. So it looks like he finishes it and then he machines out. I saw he uses a lathe to do this of some sort, and it just has a little pin that cuts those in there. Beautiful machining. The grip feels fantastic in hand, not abrasive. This is really awesome. We just haven't seen this. And if this is his first version, imagine what he's going to be able to do. Similar amount of rattle. You're just going to get a little bit of rattle with this type of model. It's very hard to not get a little bit of rattle. When they're deployed, they tend to not rattle. So when you're using them, not a big deal. But when they're not deployed, just to find the balance, you're just going to have a tiny bit of rattle in these. You could always put in a much stronger spring if that really matters to you and eliminate that. Nice brush finish on the pocket clip. Nice stonewash finish on the body. I'm sure he'll do quite a few different ones. I saw he did some anos on his, he had a top clicker that he did a run on and didn't love the clicker. So now he's switched to the bolt. So I think he can, if he really gets this precision, let me show you the difference here. I think he could do something like this, where this is more inset and shorter, and probably turn this into a G2 pen without, and this is very similar in length, by the way, a little bit shorter. It would take very little add-on there, 1/4 inch and or just some adjustments here. So look at the difference in efficiency on those top caps. Now, if you go look at the original Smooth Precision pens, they're very similar to this one. So this is not an unusual place as a starting point. But you can see there's, 1/8 of an inch there that could be saved. You can see the difference in the threading there. Not a huge difference, but this one starts a little lower. So somehow he was able to make this work in a very small package and just make that so efficient. And that's what I never loved about the Arnold Bernard. Great pen all around, really amazing. I'd love to see them stonewash that because I don't really love that turn finish. But that inefficiency of this huge pen, I mean, compare these two. These are both Parker. That is a much bigger pen. If they could get that down into, and that's with Parker, into something reasonable like this size, I think that'd be a big step up for them. Overall, really, really cool to see this. These were selling for $135, I want to say, plus shipping. So very reasonable on the price. That's the cool thing on the bolt pens. So what do I know? What else is coming out there? Machine Era is going to be doing a clip bolt pen. You have Focusworks talking about doing a clip bolt pen. These things sell for so much money on the secondary because it's such a great pen. Focusworks, by the way, did just do a 1 bolt with a nice little chamfered top like that for their clip on their side swipe. A bit of a different, pen. Not a clip bolt exactly. It kind of is, but works very differently and it's much fatter and stuff. But just in terms of this basic clip bolt, you can make this pen and sell it for $100 to $150. I think that's what these were going for, was like $165 plus, shipping and stuff. It's not the most expensive thing to make, but for some reason, just that extra engineering to get the clip and the bolt together seems to throw people off. But man, it gives you the ergos. It makes it such a great pen to write with. So I'm gonna drop an Odo in there. Let's do it right now just for fun. Unfortunately, this particular Odo is one that I got that doesn't have good ink flow coming out of it, but it's on the desk, so I think it'll look cool for you to see, and then I'll see what kind of tip wiggle we have. That kind of stuff I can test with this bad one, no problem. But this Parker size, I've come to enjoy it because there are alternatives like the Odo and the Monteverde and a few others in the Parker that are quite good. Yep, cycles just fine there. You're gonna probably get a tiny bit more tip wiggle with this. It's just slightly smaller than the Parker in my experience. No, none at all. But you can see this one's not quite, the ink's not flowing quite as well as a good one. This is what a good one would look like. See how much darker that is. I guess it's probably hard to tell on the camera, but oh man, this pen feels great. I am super stoked. I don't love the feeling of these sort of sharp-edged pocket clips, but pretty much everyone that's building some sort of clip bolt has to start here. It's just one more engineering hurdle they don't have to overcome. They just bolt that thing in there super solid with 2 screws. But when you get that into a nice chamfered edge like that, it is just so nice. So if you can do that same thing, and you can see there just sort of the efficiency opportunity. These pens are basically the same length, almost the same length. The Smooth Precision pens is like just a little bit longer there, 1/8 of an inch, and yet that one's got a G2 refill in it. That'd be an amazing step up. So man, what a great prototype he did here. Super stoked to see another maker bringing out a really compelling pen. Nice little box, efficient box it ships with. Always speaks to the maker when they do these little things, take pride in their product. But that is really an exciting new entry into the pen market, and I'm thrilled I was able to grab one on this initial drop and get one of the prototypes, because I do think this is going to be one of the great pens for the next few years. Action's pretty good. It's a little sticky compared to like a Smooth Precision pens. Might loosen up if you throw some lube in there or something like that. He was able to, by the way, one of the feedback points I gave him, he was able to make this bolt so it was long enough to fill the gap there. If you remember the old Smooth Precision pens, they had the gap there, and his initial prototype did have a gap, but he was able to overcome that. I think honestly, just the angle, if he actually just changes this a little bit, see this pocket is like a little smoother. This point right here is very important, how sharp that is. See how steep that one is? If he makes that a little more sloped, I mean, the benefit of this is it's less likely to get pushed out of there. So this one is a bit susceptible to getting pushed out of there. This one retains much stronger. The drawback of that is it's not quite as smooth on the action. So same exact thing as the Smooth Precision pens. They all go through this same process of sort of perfecting every little piece of this clip bolt design. There's so much to know there. So I'm thrilled though. This, immediately goes into probably my top 10 if I had to throw a number on it. It's got a little bit of quirks, but that's why, I love getting into prototypes for a reason. You get out there, you give some feedback, see what you think, see what kind of opportunities there are for improvement. And yeah, this is what it's all about, is helping the community keep moving forward and bring great products to the market. Love it. Andrew, nice work on that. Feel free to check him out. Let me just double check what the website is. Gonna pause. All right, the website is seguininc.com. Does this seguin.inc also work? Let me see if that redirects or something. Seguin. It does not. So seguininc.com. Make sure and don't go to that address. That looks like that's an address or something. I guess it's just Seguin Inc. Love the little clip for the pens on there. I didn't catch that at first. That's pretty fun. Cool. Good stuff. And that's all for now. If you enjoyed the content, please feel free to like and subscribe. And I will see you on the next one. Take care.